Hi guys, it's Tara here with Create Life Paper Words, and I'm still plugging away at my album. This is day 4, and on day 4 we did a lot of walking, like we had done days 2 and 3. This day, I'm trying to think exactly what we did. I think we went to, where is it? We walked along the Seine, and we went over to Les Invalides and the Army Museum. And it was actually one of my favorite, actually I think this was my favorite day in Paris, was our day 4. And it was our last full day there. And then after that, we ended up actually going to see the Rolling Stones, which was absolutely unbelievable. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, is I'm going to be going over the first part of the day, which is visiting Les Invalides and the Army Museum. And then I'll be doing the Rolling Stones concert. And you'll see that I do them on the same page. It'll be a 9 by 12, not a 10 by 12, 9 by 12. So I'm going to do one on the front and one on the back. What I was really finding with the photos, and it gets better as I go through day 5 and on, but I found that I didn't love the photos that I was taking in Paris just because there were so many people around. You can't really, it's very hard to take them in any of the museums because they're very dark in there, and there's not a ton of natural light. Where there is natural light, there tends to be a lot of people. So like even in that photo at the very top on that left hand side that I just covered, you can see that like it's absolutely gorgeous in Napoleon's tomb, but there's still people, and you can't get shots without people in them. That's just it's just never gonna happen. So that was definitely a little discouraging for me when it came to taking photos. But so that's why there's not a ton. Like all our Paris ones are pretty much done within like a page. Whereas when I get into the castles and the stuff that we do when we go a little bit further south in France, those ones have more photos just because I was able to get the really nice shots, or wait a moment or two for people to walk by and then take my photos. So just if you're wondering why like we were in France and there's not these like a million of photos, to be honest, I thought there would be a million photos as well. I really did, and it just, there's just not. So I sort of struggled a little bit with this page. This is where I'm working on the Rolling Stones concert. For some reason, I decided to start with the end, like the end of the day, and work backwards. I'm not really sure why I did that now. I can't remember. And so we had really amazing seats. So I was able to get some pretty awesome photos and some pretty awesome videos as well. So I really was excited about that. We love live music, like I know a lot of people do, and so when my husband was searching for things to do in Paris, he's like, I should see what there is for concerts, and he's like, you're never gonna believe this, the Rolling Stones are there. And I was like, no way. And so we hummed and hawed for a very long time before deciding to finally get tickets and go see them, and I'm so glad we did. It was just such an amazing experience. We went, they were at the U Arena, which from what I understand is a brand new arena, and it was really cool. It was, especially the outside, I'm wishing I'd taken a photo of it. Again, it would have been a bunch of people's heads in it, but it was a very, very neat building and super easy to get to from where we were. So documenting that part. I always keep, as you'll see if you've watched any of my other videos on any of my other trips, I always keep all like the ticket stubs and all that kind of stuff, and I have a stack of stuff that I bring home with me. And so I was really happy that I was able to put the tickets in there. The great thing about it, you can't see it, but I do have where we sat, but it also says how much the tickets were. So I think that'll be really neat to look back on, in a few years or 10-15 years, just to see like what we paid for those, which it was quite a bit of money. It was like 300 and some euros, which I think it ended up being a bit over, I can't remember how the conversion was, if it was a bit over or a bit under 600, but it was so worth it. I'm so glad that we did decide to go, and we did do that experience. We had this, the Army Museum suggested, originally we were going to go we're going to go northwest to Normandy. Originally, that's what we wanted to do. And then after talking to my cousin, who had been in France not that long before, she'd said they were planning to do that too. And then they ended up deciding to go to the Army Museum. And just with all the driving and all the time that the driving would have taken with how our trip was, and talking to them, we thought that maybe this would be a good substitute for going up to Normandy, which isn't really a substitute, but you know what I mean. And I absolutely loved it. I knew my husband would really love this museum, but I surprisingly absolutely loved it. And I really loved the history. I think we went to make sure we saw every exhibit, and we really read all the English stuff that there was. And it was a really great museum. We were there for easily 3.5 or 4 hours, because we wanted to see everything. So it was a great trip. We also did a little bit of walking, and we loved seeing the Eiffel Tower, which we'd been at the day before, but we loved seeing it from this angle. So it was just, I don't know, it's just a really great day overall. And then between the Eiffel Tower between the museum and going up to Nanterre and the concert, we ended up finding the what the heck is it called, the Laderie store, and had some macarons and had some very, very delicious hot chocolate. Such good hot chocolate and tea. So that right there is day 4. It's very short, but don't worry, day 5 and on, there are some very long videos. As always, you can find me on Instagram at Create Life Paper Words, and here on YouTube at Create Life Paper Words. If you haven't subscribed, I would really hope that you do, and we will see you guys later. Bye.